What if I told you that a boy born into exile, hunted, starving, and abandoned by his own tribe, would rise to build the largest land empire in human history? A man whose name still echoes with fear and fascination across continents. This is not just a story of conquest. This is the story of power, survival, and a legacy that reshaped the world. This is the story of Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire, a child of chaos. Long before he became known as Genghis Khan, he was just a boy named Temujin. Born around 1162 on the harsh, unforgiving steppes of Mongolia, Temujin's life began not with privilege, but with struggle. His father, a tribal leader, was poisoned by rivals when Temujin was still a child. With his protector gone, his family was cast out by their own clan, left to starve in the wilderness. Imagine this: a young boy, his mother, and his siblings, abandoned in one of the harshest environments on Earth. No shelter, no allies, no food, only survival. Temujin learned quickly that the world owed him nothing. He hunted, he fought, he endured. But survival came at a cost. In one chilling moment, driven by rivalry and desperation, Temujin killed his own half-brother. It was a brutal act, but one that revealed something deeper. This was not just a boy trying to live. This was someone who would do whatever it took to rise. From outcast to leader, as Temujin grew, so did his ambition. He began gathering allies not based on family ties or tribal traditions, but on loyalty and merit. This was revolutionary. In a world where bloodline determined power, Temujin chose something different. Trust earned through action. He rescued his kidnapped wife, Berte, by forming strategic alliances. He built friendships with powerful figures, then lost them, then fought them. Betrayal became a constant theme in his life, but so did resilience. Every setback made him stronger. Every enemy taught him something new. Temujin didn't just fight battles. He studied people. He understood fear. He understood loyalty. And most importantly, he understood how to unite those who had been divided for generations. The birth of Genghis Khan. In 1206, everything changed. After years of war, alliances, and relentless determination, Temujin achieved what no one before him could. He united the Mongol tribes. On a vast plain, surrounded by warriors who once were enemies, Temujin was given a new title, Genghis Khan. It meant universal ruler. But this was more than just a name. It was the beginning of an empire that would shake the world. The machine of war. Genghis Khan didn't just create an army, he created a war machine. His soldiers were fast, disciplined, and terrifyingly effective. Mounted on horseback, they could travel incredible distances in record time. Each warrior often had multiple horses, allowing them to switch mounts and maintain speed for days. But their greatest weapon wasn't strength, it was strategy. They used psychological warfare, spreading fear ahead of their arrival. Cities often surrendered without a fight, simply because they had heard what happened to those who resisted. And for those who didn't surrender, the consequences were devastating. Entire cities were wiped out, populations erased. The message was clear: resist and you will be destroyed. But there was another side to this empire. More than destruction. Despite their brutal reputation, the Mongols were not just destroyers. Under Genghis Khan, the empire became a place of surprising innovation and order. Religious tolerance was encouraged. People of different beliefs, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, were allowed to practice freely. Trade flourished. The Silk Road became safer than ever before, connecting East and West in ways that had never been possible. Goods, ideas, and cultures began to flow across continents. Genghis Khan also established laws known as the Yasa that promoted discipline, loyalty, and fairness within his ranks. Merit mattered more than nobility. For many, The Mongol Empire was terrifying, but for others, it was a new kind of opportunity, a legacy written in history. By the time of Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his empire stretched across vast lands from China to Central Asia. But his story didn't end there. His descendants continued his expansion, pushing into Europe and the Middle East, creating the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever seen. The impact of the Mongol Empire is still felt today. They reshaped global trade. They connected civilizations. They changed the course of history. And yet, their legacy remains complex. Were they ruthless conquerors, visionary leaders, or something in between? Call to action. Genghis Khan's story forces us to ask a powerful question. Can greatness exist without destruction? History remembers him as both a hero and a villain, a unifier and a conqueror, a man who rose from nothing and changed everything. So what do you think? Was Genghis Khan a genius or a monster? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, stories that uncover the truth behind history's greatest empires, don't forget to subscribe.